Hello everyone, I hope you can, yeah, I think you should be able to hear me.
Hello, yes.
Thanks, that's good.
Hello.
We'll first try this, it's okay, let's wait for 1-2 minutes until everyone who wants to join joins us.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, I think we can start. Okay, yeah, hello. Okay, some more people joining us. Moment. Okay, so today and tomorrow we will discuss such topics like XML and exception handling. Not sure if we will finish everything or not. And today and tomorrow again, as usual, we will have the Q&A sessions. I mean, not sessions, but yeah, the time for Q&A. Some part of the lectures for Q&A. And I've seen that there are some questions from you who ask about JSON, about some issues with JSON, with tasks, yeah, with tasks related to JSON files. I will answer to you during these Q&As today and tomorrow. And yes, just you'll have the time for them, for the questions about. Okay, so but let's start with the extra activity 04. Was your previous homework. Maybe let's go through the solution for string tokenizer exercise. So as you remember, there are two classes which had to be created: string tokenizer exercise and student. Okay, maybe let's start with string tokenizer exercise. Yeah, that was quite similar to the example we discussed in the class before. Just yeah, a short overview. I've seen that most of you managed to complete this exercise. That's very good. So the idea is that we use yeah, that's just for testing purpose. In maybe let me, I think that that's one of the codes used for the test purposes. So let me get my original solution. Of course, there can be multiple ways to do it, but maybe let's stick with one. Okay, yeah. So the idea is that first of all, I'm not sure if we need to split. Not sorry, not again, not this one. This one. Yeah, for the split method, as it is requested, just we can just use split, but this method was not used here. Yeah, it was not used here. In general, we have two main methods for us. String tokenizer, which returns the list. Just yeah, the idea was to split text passed by giving the limiter and to return a list with tokenized string. So, and yeah, the list was already declared, new array list. So we just create a new instance of string tokenizer class with the text provided and the limiter provided as well, and we just go through the string and the elements of this string tokenizer class to the list. And yeah, that's maybe most tricky part, but not tricky. But the main part is here in the method create from file. Just the idea is that you just need to create the corresponding structure, the corresponding list from file with the class student. So first of all, need to create a new file based on the file path that we again create the list for the students. Here the buffer reader is initialized. See, more people are joining us. Let me accept and a moment. Yeah. And here we just read the file again, input content, and we just go through all the lines here, and we use every line for the student. And here we read the elements and we pass them into the object of student, and then we just pass the student to the list, and we close the file at the end. That was pretty it for string tokenizer. And for the student class, I think that was the right one. So the idea is that we just create the structure. Let me check. That's also one of the test examples. Yeah, just we have simple constructor, which is not needed here. Oh, no, it's actually needed. Sorry. Yeah, it's actually needed because in case, the initial constructor may be needed for some purposes. And just maybe since the string is the can just initialize the string. Okay, so yeah, it has the constructor which was requested, so just the basic constructor, and getters, setters as usually, and I think that was pretty it. Yes, student class was correct, and string tokenizer. And string tokenizer is correct as well, so I see there's some questions coming in from Discord. Yeah, regarding your home tasks, I mean the results I shared with you. Yeah, again, if you have any concerns or you are sure that or you think, or you assume that I missed something, yeah, it's possible. Sorry for that. just in case I missed something, please notify me and I will check, because yeah, maybe since I have from you lots of sources of the places where the homework is actually done. I mean, it can be Discord, it can be most of you, not most of you, but some of you use Pastebin, and yeah, but most of you, thanks, you use Bitbucket. So yeah, that's and yeah, some of you also send me your homeworks via email. That's why that's why. Don't worry if I missed some resource. If I haven't checked some of the resource, because if I missed something, because yeah, that's sometimes a bit complicated to manage to go through all the resources I have.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Did you send to everybody something about the
About the
homeworks and?
homeworks, and I think yes, I sent it to you as well on Discord.
Okay, I will check
Yeah,
on Discord. Okay.
yeah, on Discord. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I sent to all you on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, but in case you need some, if in case you want me to share it somewhere else, please let me know.
I have a suggestion to just use the Bitbucket and Discord to make less places to check for you because
Yeah,
it's crazy
yeah,
if you have.
no, I mean the place where I can send you the results of homework.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah,
I just missed it. Sorry.
yeah, no problem, no problem. Just yeah. I mean, in case you want me just to send you the email or write somewhere else, please notify me. Yeah, I mean the
I
result.
also
I
have
mean the
a
results.
question.
Yeah, sure.
Whether our results should be, is it a private information or it would be easier like in school to make one Google Docs file where you can put all the results for everybody, or it should be private? You can do.
I'm not sure, but I think I'm not sure if all of you are fine.
Just it
And
will be easier for you.
no, it's fine for me because yeah, again the problem is what I said that maybe I missed something and I just don't want to share the results where I missed something. So, so that you don't feel uncomfortable here, and if I missed something. So yeah, that's why first I want to clarify if I managed to to check everything you sent to me, and after that I can. But also after I check everything, I can put it somewhere in public place. It's fine. But yeah, I want to stick with this approach because I may miss something, and that's why I don't really want to share incorrect results to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, thank you for understanding. Okay, then it's
May I ask one more question?
yeah, sure.
About string tokenize exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I have no failures in this task, but I don't understand exactly how works file. What is this file? Students new file pass. What it?
Yeah, this is the class. This is the class which can be used yeah, can be used in the logic. Because you can see there's the file reader we want to use, which needs to be used in buffer reader class. And as you can see, the buffer reader class, okay, maybe declaration buffer reader class. Yeah, it has the constructor which yeah, which requires yeah, there actually can be multiple different parameters for the constructor, but let's check it this way. So you can see there are multiple parameters, and there are different constructors here. We actually want to use one of them. That's why we use file reader, which can be casted to reader, right? And for file reader, we need a file, actually, the class file, and that's why we use file here. In theory, of course, you can find different ways how to read the file. I mean, in Java there are lots of libraries how the file can be read. Then you just get the string and you go through the lines of the string. It's also fine if you have different approach.
Now, am I right that this class file consists to it exists for put a path, yeah, file path
Yes,
for our
yes,
original file.
yes, we use
Yeah?
it for file path here.
It is only one task.
Yeah, there's only one
Mhm.
file path. We just create the class for the file. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And maybe we can even go to implementation. Yeah, it checks. Okay, first of all, it checks if it's not null. Then yeah, it's normalized. Yeah, basically it just transforms the simple file path to the class, because we are in Java, and basically almost everything here is object, and objects are referred to the classes, which so we can have more advanced logic here. And also for just maybe if we go ahead a little bit, as you remember, there's also a task for XML cars. Maybe I think so today we'll have the topic about XML documents, and yeah, once we finish, it's just an optional task. You can complete it as well. Yes, you can do this exercise as well, but yeah, first of all, maybe let us go through this topic, and after that you can also do this exercise as an optional one. But yeah, okay, see there are more people joining us. Accept the meeting. Moment. Okay. And yeah, maybe one more thing about string tokenizer we discussed. Not sure if everyone was able to join that discussion we had last Saturday, as I remember. Then the idea is that yeah, not most of you, but some of you tried to split the text using yeah. So if the text is string, for example in this case, and if you yeah, some of you used just split method from the string class. But what was the problem for this method? Yeah, maybe let's go deeper. You can see that there are some characters with which we can have some problems. And if you remember, there are two files for students. And for the second file, the limiter is the dot. And yeah, the dot is in this list, and for those who used delimiter split using the delimiter for dots, yeah, here, if you used it here, then it didn't work for yeah, just simple split method, and yeah, that was the problem for some of you who use that approach, and that's why you can just use string tokenizer. Yeah, that was what I suggested. You can use string tokenizer, and with string tokenizer there should be no problems. Of course, again, as I said, in Java there are millions of libraries, maybe not millions, but maybe even millions. I haven't checked this information, but yeah, there are lots of libraries, lots of different approaches how you can split the text file, so there is no unique solution. Okay, you can use string tokenizer, you can use some other classes, it's also fine. Right, okay, then let's go to the XML topic. Yeah, I think most of you know what is XML, what the XML files are. Maybe some of you also managed to edit or to create your own XML file. You used it, and it can be used in lots of different scenarios. Yeah, maybe let's start with the agenda. And yeah, today I'll talk about what is XML, HTML, and XHTML, the goals for XML, the syntax and creation rules, schema definition, DTD and XSD, files, then XML validation, using DOM and ESAX parsers. That's for Java. Yeah, maybe let's start with some prehistory a bit. So maybe you also, I think you also heard about HTML, which is hypertext markup language used for web pages, web development. Basically everything almost everything you see when you are on the web browser, the web pages, it is written on using HTML. Right, and yeah, that was defined in 1992 as HTML1, and it's just from the file storage of you, it's just a simple plain text document with some specific marks like head, body, H1, BR, and so on. Maybe let's have some even really small example. Maybe somewhere, let's create it here. Somewhere here. So just here we can create a simple HTML file. Yeah, you can see that by default I have the Chrome as the default app to open it. Okay, and first of all, maybe let's start with oh yeah, I haven't noticed that Marita sent in Discord. She want to see other people results. Yeah, Marita, it's absolutely fine, and that's based on the question. Regarding the question with Marita said in Discord, I'm not sure I want to see other people results. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Then Just the idea is to also that the purpose of this course is just to have some learning stuff about Java, some introduction. I mean, not introduction, but also kind of upper introduction for Java, and yeah, the purpose is just to learn something new here. And I'm not sure if we want to have some struggles on this with the results. Yeah. So yeah, I think that the learning is individually for everyone. That's why I don't think that it is really needed to share your results with others. It's good if you share your knowledge with others. That's a really good thing, but yeah, you don't need to share your results with others and see the results of others. Right, so yeah, here we define just document type, HTML, then yeah, you also type tag HTML to body of HTML, and yeah, using different tags, like what do we have here? It's body, yeah, body we already used it. You can use h1, header of the document. Then we have the closing tag, right? We need to have the closing tag, just to understand where is the start and where's the end. And of course we need the closing tags for the body and for HTML as well. Yeah, and just maybe let's have a paragraph as well if you want. Paragraph of the document. Yes, and maybe yes, you can use BR as well. Continue here, for example, and yeah, we have all the tags closed, except for BR. We don't really need the closing tag. And okay, let's save it and test what's going on here. Yeah, and now we can see that we have the HTML document. So we have, oh, sorry, just maybe, yeah. So we have the header. Maybe let me share the text file here as well, so we can just see directly how it works. So yeah, first of all, it's just simply define the document type, and yeah, we have the closing tag. And yeah, one small remark, maybe for the web development, also usually, not usually, but yeah, maybe in some cases, sometimes, or even usually, I don't know how, maybe which, if it's usually and sometimes here, but the HTML documents are defined as PHP documents, which is needed to connect database. We'll not talk about it now, but in case you have the PHP files, they can also be considered as the HTML files. Right, but yeah, just a simple case. We have an HTML file. We define document tab. We define the type of the not the type, but the section where the stuff is defined. Then we have the body of the document, and we have the start, the end of the header, and it goes to the next one. Maybe if we skip, you can see if we skip the line here, it does not affect the document here. And here we have the paragraph. And the interesting thing about BR tag is that it is not closed here, as you can see, right? You need to close almost everything just to understand where is the start and where is the end of the corresponding section. Except for BR, because BR means that we just need to, we just go to the next line. And yeah, for everything else you just need to close. Also, okay, maybe after the break I will find one example which I did for my assignment in university, just for presentation purpose. But I'll share it after the break, so because I need to search for it. But yeah, basically that's the idea for the XML document, which is used for the web development, to define the structure of the web pages. Okay, let's move on. And yeah, let's move on with XML documents. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. The crazy thing is that it starts with X. Yeah, I mean here it starts with X, but it actually starts with E. Yes, yeah, I mean in English it sounds that X, EX, X, the same way as X. That's why it's called XML, not EML. But yeah, it stands for Extensible Markup Language. Yeah, that's the markup language that defines a set of rules for encoding documents in format which is both human readable and machine readable. The idea of XML is to store and transmit structured data. It can be the data, the actual data, which is used as the data in maybe that's a bit strange, but yeah, data which is used as the data, but the data which you should consider as the data, like some maybe statistics, some actual data you have in real life, like statistics, like some characteristics, maybe if it's again employee, all the parameters of employee, the data, maybe some data of employees, and yeah, basically I think you understand what does it mean. And on the other hand, it can also be considered as the data for the setup, like if you have something to, like, imagine, yeah, well, maybe we'll not talk about Android development, but if you have kind of Android application, the base of the application which defines the main structure of this application is also written using XML files. So it can also be the data as the structure of the application, of the web page again, but not in the way of XML, maybe a bit different way. And yeah, just the structure. It can define the structure, which is also, from one point of view, is also the data. Can be considered as the data, but not the data as the data which is used widely, but the data which is used as definition of some structures of applications. Alright, I hope you understand the idea here. Yeah, it uses to store and transmit the structured data. Yeah, maybe some examples of XML where it is used. Some time ago, I was checking how the data comes to such websites, like if you have some overview of many different products from different websites, like I think all of you know what is in Latvia Salīdzinēji. It can be the sky scanner for the flight search yeah, in most cases, in most advanced cases, there are some APIs used to get the data from the database of the corresponding websites companies. But in Salīdzinēji, they use XML, so just they receive XML data. At least what I've heard. Maybe it's not true, but that's also an option how the data can be sent to such pages like Salīdzinēji. So they just receive the data in XML format, and they use these XML files as the data for the website. Alright, let's move on. Also is XML is plain text document with specific marks tags to describe document structure. And again, yeah, the tags are very similar to the one you just seen in HTML file. So for XML it stands very similar, but yeah, there are some differences. We'll talk about them a bit later. And yeah, it was developed by W3C World Wide Web Consortium to deal with issues of HTML. Retrospectively, standard generalized markup language was introduced as common ancestor of both XML and HTML. Yeah, we'll talk about this stuff a bit later. Then the goals. Yeah, it is easy to use in the web. Support for different applications. In subclass of standard generalized is a subclass of standard generalized markup language, HTML. Easy to process and use it. Minimum set of mandatory features. Documents should be easy to create, and simplicity over expressiveness. Yeah. Then we have XML example. As you can see, it has the tags, same as HTML, but they work a bit differently. In this case, it defines the data, data for the persons. Every XML document should have only one, let's call it like the root tag or the starting tag. In this case, it's persons. So you have persons at the beginning, persons at the end, and you cannot have, we cannot define it. Let me show. You cannot define it this way. Just let me show you. Okay, now that's the text. It's good. Also, yeah, one small hint: you can find lots of online editors or parsers like this. For example, you can Google for XML parser online, then you just press the first link, add your text here. I'm not sure if I think it won't go right, because that copy here is a bit strange. Maybe I'm not sure if we can replace this character here. Is it the way I can copy it? Okay, maybe let's just delete these characters manually. So the idea is that using just this plain text, we cannot easily see the whole structure. The whole structure of the document. I mean, if we just have a plain text with, if we read the plain text with some kind of this way, it's a bit confusing, and it's not really easy to understand where is just the start, where is the end. Yeah, but yeah, using XML parser, we can just format it, and here we can easily see the whole structure of the document. And yeah, that's the correct structure of the document. You have two persons, and here there are multiple persons inside. Person 1, person 2, person 3. David Gilmore, Richard Wright, Nick Mason. I think yeah, you can also write it this way. Pink Floyd, yeah. Pink Floyd. You should also maybe add one more person here. So what's the? Yeah, should add closing tag. Yeah. Closing tag. Yeah. Start, the end, and here there are multiple persons here. In the same way as you remember in JSON, we use the array, and it's also quite similar to the one we had in JSON. I think there are also XML to JSON. I think there are also multiple converters in actually the same web page. In the same web page you can find the converter from XML to JSON, and here you can see how the same file would look in JSON. Yeah, here it starts with the array. And I'm not sure why. Yeah, because it is not the attribute. Yes, Marit, I agree that XML looks more readable than JSON, because JSON is based on JavaScript. JavaScript, for many programmers, is considered as not really readable programming language, but yeah, I agree that XML is more readable. And yeah, one tricky point is that in XML you can actually see the name of the tags, right? Here you don't see the name of the tags. You can define them as the title, for example, but yeah. No, actually, yeah, you can. You can. I'm not sure. You can have the name of the objects in the arrays, but I'm not sure why it hasn't converted to this way. But never mind. I hope you understand the idea that in if we have some multiple entries in XML, it means that we have the array in JSON. Then we also have the attributes. Yeah, we have the attributes. For we define them inside the tag. If we had some parameter, yeah, maybe this is a bit confusing. The difference between the attributes and parameters inside, but the tags under the tags under the tags, but we'll talk about it later. So yeah, basically the idea is that XML moves this way and JSON moves this way. Right? Okay, and yeah, one more thing. So this is the correct format. You have only one starting tag here. If we want to add some more tags here, like this, for example, ping void. Maybe the way I like to write the XML and HTML files is just yeah, the code in programming languages. I like to start with starting tag and closing tag, and then first of all I write start and end tag, and only after that I write the content. To not forget to add something here. Right, and how we, for example, let's have a person ID calls, okay, maybe person 4, for example. Yeah, as you can see, we need the starting tag for, and we write the attribute at the beginning, but we don't provide the attribute at the end. And that's also point of the XML document here. For example, let's write Sid Barrett. Oh yeah, that's surname. Sid and Barrett here, and the same for another member of Pink Floyd, Roger Waters. I just used to press Ctrl space. That's why I have some and you can see it. We cannot, as I said, we cannot do it this way because it's it also asks that the markup in document following the root element must be well formatted, because the idea is that we should have the only root element. That's why we cannot divide the pink void, for example, in two different elements. That's why if we remove this tag, these two tags, then it should work fine. Alright, so yeah, that's the idea how the XML documents need to be formatted, and just if you have such well formatted document, you'll see that if we have the tags under the tags, then we will go down with some breaks from the left, with more breaks from the left, and that's why it's easier to understand the structure of the document. Right, I think we can have 10 minutes break now and continue after that. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, as I promised, just can share some example from XML, from HTML file I just created once, just for the demo purpose. But yeah, this is how it normally looks like. Again, there's a tag for XML document, and what's the idea is, yeah, here we have header, we have some links defined. Yeah, maybe let's not talk about them now, because that's a bit deeper topic in HTML. Yeah, just simple overview. Have the head part, sections, and so on and so on. Then after that, you usually have, I'm not sure if, yeah, somewhere, yeah, mostly after the body, you'll see you can see the style tag, which is used for CSS, some CSS definitions, which are used to define some styles, some designs of the elements of HTML, elements. So it defines the style of HTML elements, like the buttons, the icons, and all such stuff. And there's also, yeah, you can also find the script. And yeah, the script is written on JavaScript. So yeah, the idea is that the web development, maybe in classic way, it's HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript. But there can also be multiple ways using PHP and so on and so on. But yeah, that's just an example. And regarding XML, I can also show the example I had in my experience. So that's an XML file which has the data, and that's I think you want to understand, that's on Holland language, on Dutch language, but yeah, just the idea that it has some data inside, which the same way as yeah, on the most simple way, it's just it can be parsed the same way as JSON file parsed or any other string files parsed. And yeah, here's the data which can be used, and yeah, in this case, and maybe in most cases, if you have the data in using such XML structure, it means that it goes through some proxy steps, just where it is transported from one source to another, And that's basically the idea. If we have two different, for example, systems, one system use one format, another system use different format. I mean, format of programming language, the format of the output and input. So in this case, XML files, XML structures can be used as something that can be transported from one place to another. Because again, since XML is a very popular structure, it can be used for transporting language, let's go, from one system to another. Alright, let's move on with the presentation. And yeah, as you can see here, we define the version and the encoding. Yeah, so if you have Latin characters and characters from Latvian language as well, it's most likely then UTF-8 is used. Right, then there are some appliances of XML. Again, that's the storage and transmission of web content, storage and transmission of structured data, and the configuration file. Yeah, that was what I said. If in case we want to configure maybe some framework or some other structure, again, XML can be used. XML files can be used. Then there's another document type called XHTML, and yeah, there's some difference between them. In HTML, some elements can keep causing tags. Let me, for example, again go to the HTML document. Maybe let's maybe use the same HTML document. Yeah, just the same test document. And yeah, if we have some text here, maybe let's have it somewhere here. So let's have like this is the text, and for example, we want this is the text. Let's have it in bold, for example. Bold, then you start typing something in bold. The text in bold, and here, for example, you want to start to write it in italic, for example, like that. Here is the finish, and somewhere here you want to, for example, finish to type in italic. Right, then let's test it, how it looks like. And yeah, this is how it looks like. We start in bold, then we go to italic, and yeah, the bold is finished here. Italic bold. Sorry. And here we still continue to write in italic, and here we'll finish it. So from the HTML perspective, there are no issues here, and it's also fine if we want to understand it. So yeah, it's pretty clear. We start bold somewhere here, then we finish both somewhere here. We start italic here, we finish italic here, right? From our point of view, it makes sense, but again, what's the problem here? We have some mix in the tags. So the problem is that we start with both, then we start with italic, then we finish first we finish both, and then we finish italic. So in this case, we have such a structure with intersection between them, which is from HTML point of view, that's fine, but moment. But if we want to, one moment, let me check. So maybe let's maybe. Okay, maybe let's not now. But yeah, but the idea is that in XHTML you need to have the right sequence of them. So in theory, this would look like, so here start the bold, then here you start the italic. Yeah, then here you finish the bold. Then you here start italic, you start the bold. Then you finish the bold here and you finish the italic here. So in this case you need to mark it this way. Moment. Yeah, so okay. Yeah, also need to provide some additional things here, but sorry. Not what I wanted. Yeah, again from HTML point of view there are no differences. But yeah, this is how it should look in XHTML. Yeah, and can skip. Yeah, in HTML some elements can skip causing tags as well, not in XHTML. And names are not case sensitive. Attributes all can be written without quotes. In XHTML, document type is mandatory, which is not mandatory in HTML. And yeah, HTML attribute is also mandatory. So basically, the file format is has more restrictions than the XML one. Yeah, must be properly nested. That was what I said. Elements must always be closed in XHTML. Elements must be in lowercase. Documents must have one root element. And yeah, XML attributes. That should be different. Moment. I think that should be this way. And more. Yeah. So yeah, XML attributes must be in lowercase, values must be quoted, and attribute minimization is forbidden. So basically, yeah, that's the idea of XML content. As I said, yeah, about some terms. Here we have the tags. One moment. Here we have the tags displayed in bool. So the tags start with these brackets, such brackets, opening and closing. Then we have then there are the elements which are the elements of the tags. Then we have the attributes, which are the attributes of the tags themselves. And of course you can write some comments using again these brackets, then yeah, some other symbols, so dashes, and yeah, that's how it looks like. As I said, all the XML, not XLM but XML, sorry. Yeah. All the XML documents must have the root element, as I mentioned. Then there should be the tree structure. That's also what I said, comparing to some elements of HTML documents. You must have the tree here. You cannot close the, like in this case, if you start with the person, then you go to the name. You cannot finish the person before the name is closed. Right? It doesn't make sense from tree point of view. That's why you should have the tree structure, and yeah, that is what I said. In HTML you can have such things. In XML you should only have the tree structure. Then there are mandatory closing tags in XML, so you should also have the closing tag. And empty tag can be shortened this way, which can also be done in XML. If you just have some, if you just want to need to add some attributes for the tag and don't have the element under the tag, you have only attributes, for example, you can shorten it this way. And for compatibility with all software, space before slash can be used. Yeah. So, but you can skip this space as well. And yeah, empty elements could have some attributes. That was what I said, that we can have the attributes under the empty element. And yeah, like ID, if it's kind of button or something like that, you can have such attribute like ID, or if you want to have for HTML, if you have the, if you want to add some style, you can define it there. That's what I said. If we have the CSS style sheet, then it can be linked to the element of HTML. Case sensitivity in HTML, for example, yeah, in HTML, H1 and H1 is the same tag, but it's not recommended to use an uppercase. I think you always see the tags in lowercase, but in XML there are two different tags, and it's case sensitive. Like in this case, yeah, you cannot start the person with such case like uppercase and finish it in lowercase. Then there are quoted attributes. So if you have, attributes should have values, and values should be quoted with either single or double quotes. Like in this case, it's incorrect because you have the attribute and you don't pass the value for the attribute, which must be done for the tags in XML. Right, let's move on. Then we have the decoration of XML. Most of XML documents starts with XML decoration. That was what I mentioned, which provides meta info about the document. So it clearly states that this is XML document. As I said, all the XML documents are just plain text. That's why we must distinguish that we are dealing with XML file in some way. That's why we use this starting tag for XML. And of course the encoding, if we have kind of different characters, it should also be mentioned in encoding. Like, yeah, if it's not Latin characters, then we need to provide the correct encoding. And yeah, XML decoration is not mandatory, but it is recommended just to have the right format and all this stuff. Then yeah, the definition of XML structure. Elements should be defined. Definition of XML structure is usually defined in XML schema using two formats: DTD, document type definition, and XSD. And maybe let's show you the example of XSD document. It's also a bit similar to XML document. I mean, yeah, the style, how the XML and HTML documents are defined. I mean, with the tags and all this stuff. Maybe let me show you. Sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one. Moment. Yeah, for example, yeah, this is the one which is used in your X204 exercise. So yeah, it's also shows the XML, but here you can see the schema XS. So that's the link to the actual schema. It should not mandatory be the website. At least it should look like the website, but it should not be the website mandatory. It just defines the path to the structure, to the schema, and after that you define again the root element, like for the cars. So the element cars. So yeah, I will check this, or maybe even more. I can show you this XML document now. A moment, let me get the XML document, and I will just a moment. I will search for the XML document which is used in moment. just taking the same document which is used in X204. Let's go to so here it is. Yeah, I think something. Yeah, there are multiple XMLs. I don't need them. Yeah. So maybe let's some different. I'm not sure why it's such car here. Not sure. Let's just maybe have something more modern here. Kind of. Okay, so yeah, so this is the XML file, and this is the structure. So first of all, we define the root element, right, which is used here. So we define the root element, then we go down. We define this complex type. It's not the simple type. It's complex type here. So, and here is the element. And we have again the element name. Right. Have the element name. And yeah, we go down. Here we have some under elements like module, color, year. We also define the type of these elements here, and this is the way how we can define structure. And here there are some attributes of the element. Here these ones, so ID, and this here, and yeah, use can be required or not mandatory. And again, there's the simple type, the value restrictions here, and the nodes again, yeah. Yeah, I think there's another slide about this, but yeah, basically, yeah, this is the XSD document, which defines the structure, the format of the XML document. We will, I think, in next slides. Yeah, we'll speak about it a bit later in this topic. How to validate the XML file, but basically the main idea is that even without the structure defined, the XML file is in theory that's the correct file, because actually why not? It's just the plain text was the data, but in case we want to use it somewhere, and most likely then we need kind of structure. In this case, the XSD schema needs to be used to check if the XML is correct or not. Then there are some escape sequences, like there may be some data containing this comparison brackets. Yeah, that's symbols. That's why we can use some escape characters for them. Again, yeah, the attribute values can contain the brackets for them, and some marks, and yeah, just can use these escape characters to define them. So yeah, DDD document is not an XML document, but it also defines the data, the structure of the XML documents. Maybe we'll not talk about it. You just can see that it's also the plain text, but it's not the XML file itself. But yeah, that was the first format for definition of XML structure. Not quite modern, but yeah, it can have the reference to DDD schema. I mean, XML can have the reference to DDD schema. And yeah, XHTML frequently referred to W3C schema, like this. DDD elements, yeah, there are elements defined in DTD. Yeah, the model, the car, and some other elements can be defined in DTD. So an element type declaration defines an element and its possible content with, you can use the following sequence: empty element, any element, but maybe we'll not talk about DTD documents because we will not really use them. Yeah, maybe the most interesting that what I already mentioned is XSD schema. Yeah, it's newer standard for definition of XML structure, and it's also the XML document itself. As I mentioned, that's why it's it's easy to read it, to deal with it, and to understand it. And yeah, it supports some data types like integer, string, URL, date, time, and float. And yeah, comparing to JSON, there are some differences, because the main difference is that as you most likely notice that there are no objects here. There are the primitive types, but actually the tags, the elements themselves are the objects in terms of from JSON point of understanding. And one more thing is that, as you remember, in JSON, the numeric value is the same for integers and floats. Float. That date type, but in XML, these types are different. Also, the date, time, and URL are considered as different date types. And XSD can be extended, so custom types can be introduced as specialization of more general types, and yeah, it's more expressive than DTD documents. And yeah, as I already shown to you how the XSD documents look like. So this is also the variant. That's the declaration of XML structure, and file extension is XSD, not XML in this case. Right, you have the schema, you have the element, complex type, and yeah, if the type is just, it has some elements inside, it's considered as complex type, and there should be the syntax, the sequence, and yeah, name population, for example, string decimal. Yeah, for the persons, you can see that we have the element persons. Then under that we have the person type, choose the person, person type, and name, surname, as the strings, and ID as well. Referring to XSD and XML, to declare that the person's XML uses XSD schema, following lines should be added. Like in this case, in this case we use, that's the XML file, and we and we add yeah, the namespace schema location. Like for persons, if it's just in the same folder or in the same file system, we can provide the direct path to the file. If it's somewhere in web, and you can reach it using HTML, then you need to provide the URL. And validation, yeah, as I said, the main idea for the XSD files is to validate the XML, if the XML is defined correctly or not. And you can use some online validator. For example, this one. Maybe let's open it. So now we have the XML document, and yeah, maybe here we need to have the file. So let's create the file. Moment. And let me paste the text here. So yeah, now we have the. Okay, let's XML schema. It's not here, it's here. Yeah. No, it's not here, sorry. It's here. Moment, workspace, yeah. So, yeah, we open schema here, and here we add the XML. We do the validation, and we have the results. And here it is said that the document is valid. But let's, for example, change something, like add our own tag, for example. Sure, let's something like available, for example. Yes. And try to validate it now. You can see that schema validation is invalid. It is invalid, and you can also see where the problem is, as it is written here. So you can see that it shows that there's no such element available in the schema. That's why we need to remove it. On the other hand, if we have multiple cars here, it is fine. Change the model, for example, and check it now. Yeah, now you can see that everything is fine, and maybe let's try to enter the same ID. Yeah, it's also valid, but okay, then maybe, yeah, maybe it doesn't check if the ID is unique or not. But in general, you should always understand that ID can be unique only. So in this case, you can see that there are some value restrictions here. So it shows the allowed characters and from 0 to 9, and the number of characters. For example, if we change it to 3, again, for example, maybe let's keep it as is, from 0 to 9, and change the schema here. Yeah, you can see that it shows the problem because we just defined that there should be only two characters for the ID, and for example we can write in this way. And now everything is fine. So here you can just put some restrictions for the elements of XML documents. Okay. I'm not sure why we're here. Yeah. And yeah, invalid XML does not conform to XML syntax rules, but well-formatted XML conforms to syntax rule of XML, which are the same for all XML documents. Right, and valid XML is valid document also respects the rules dictated by DTD or XSD schema. So which means that it is correct if it is correct from the schema point of view. If it's defined actually in the same way as the schema requires it. Right? Okay. Then from Java point of view, there is the package Java XML, and both SAX and DOM parsers are implemented in standard Java. So there are two parsers. We'll talk about them a bit later, but they are used for XML in Java. Basically, it's from Java point of view, it's quite the same as for JSON. There are some similarities there, and the general concept is actually the same. Right, then we have the documents, mostly XML. Actually all these type of documents, XML, HTML, and XHTML are considered as the part of document object model. So that's the cross-platform and language independent convention for all the representing and interacting with these type of documents, as I already mentioned, and JDOM is an in-memory XML model that can be used to read, write, create, or modify XML documents. So yeah, that's basically the general model. We'll not really go deeper. We'll just use it, but a bit later again when we go to Java coding here. And yeah, what are the benefits? It allows to move in document tree up and down, get child elements and parent elements, kind of same as for JSON, but yeah, that's also, we have the parent, one parent, and then we have the child of the parent, and of course we can have multiple childs, but only one parent, which should make sense. And yeah, it allows to add and remove some sections in document tree, and it allows to reorder elements and so on and so on. So yeah, basically the idea is that we have the tree here, comparing to JSON, because in JSON it's also the tree, but it's a bit different tree from our point of view. It's just basically the place where the attributes have the objects inside. And yeah, in XML it's considered as the tree, and it is the tree actually. And drawbacks need to load all XML into memory. Yeah, that's also true. Before you process it, you need to load the whole XML into memory. And then there's SAX, which is the simple API for XML. That's the event-driven online algorithm for parsing XML documents with an API interface developed by the XML dev mailing list. Yeah, that's the parser which traverses XML tree and sends the events when it gets some structure elements like start of the element, end of the element, and just text itself. Yeah, maybe there's no much to talk about now. We'll just do some practical stuff here, and you'll basically understand how it all works. But yeah, basically this is just a parser. So you parse the XML document and you deal with them once they are parsed into the tree. Yeah, and the good points are that it is fast and minimum memory required and proportional to the maximum depth of the XML file. Okay, that's maybe a bit more technical. We'll see how to use them. Right. Okay, I think today we can start our questions and answer session a bit earlier, because I'm not sure if we'll manage to get through the example of XML document. That's why I think we can leave it for tomorrow. But for today, I'm ready to maybe I can start right now. I'm ready to answer your questions. I think about JSON, because yeah, some of you wrote me the questions about JSON. I think I can maybe let's go one by one. So I can see that, yeah, first of all, yeah, Ander wrote to me about JSON, so maybe maybe let's start then. Yeah, Under, what was the problem you had?
Maybe because of my illness, but I don't understand how to start this code. Of course, the first part cars is done, and JSON cars.
Okay.
The main structure at all, where should I define that for the simple beginnings? Because everything is broken in my head now. And
Okay.
I'm reading about JSON and I don't understand at all. Maybe you can explain plus minus the structure,
Yeah.
what where should be done.
Yeah, for JSON, yeah, first of all, of course, you have the JSON file. Maybe let me check what do you
Maybe
have?
maybe somebody is already made that task, and maybe she can explain how to start
Yeah,
with that.
it's fine. Yeah, but yeah, if someone is so, then it's also fine if you explain to each other. But the idea is that you have the JSON file, right? Maybe uh, you need to create the JSON file. You need to as you can see, there are two methods where you need to get cars and get JSON, right? So you can see them. Uh, yeah, you have these two methods. The first method is then you need to get the information based on the JSON file provided, and then you need to actually get the JSON file based on the information provided. So there are two methods. First one where you need to get from JSON to the list in Java, and the second method is when you need to get the JSON file, JSON text from the list provided in Java. Right? I hope, yeah, I hope that this part is what you understand, right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So basically, that's the idea. I'm not sure if you.
I'm sorry. So we need to create the JSON file.
No, you don't need to create a JSON file.
We
Actually,
have
yeah.
already implemented data there, and we should take them out from those, as I understand.
Actually,
Just
the data is in the unit test.
yes,
But yeah, the data is in unit test.
we should in this list cars, where is get cars method, we should initiate and set the as there's written JSON objects, and then convert this array to the string. Yes.
Yes, maybe JSON parser. Let me show what is the file you need to parse. I'm not really. You can check it when you debug, but oh yeah, one more thing about the debugging. I think it's very useful thing, and it can be very useful for you. Yeah, in theory, I can decompile the project and then resend it to you, but that would be a bit complicated because you will need to use maybe a new project. But yeah, the easier way how can you debug your unit tests. So you most likely need to go here, not here, Eclipse Marketplace, help Eclipse Marketplace, then here, let's wait until it is loading. Okay, yeah, and here you need to find decompile where, yeah, I already installed it, but you can also install it. Then when you have, yeah, just again, Eclipse Marketplace, decompiler, and just install it. After that you can go to, let's have for car test, you can go to this class, which, so you have the unit test class, right, as usually, and you maybe already noticed that it extends other class. You can go to it by open decoration, and you will have it's most likely you'll have such text, but you can go right click, then you can open with, open class with, then for example use GD core, and you'll actually have the code for the unit test. But the problem for unit tests is that, as you already noticed, sometimes it's a bit problematic to debug the code because we, as you can see here, it extends every unit test we use here extends class GTM test, and if we go to the implementation, to decoration, then we can see that by default you will see that there is the such text, which means that it has the default timeout. That's why it's not possible to debug, because the timeout is just 10 seconds and you don't have the time to debug. That's why what you can do, you can comment out this code. The problem is that here, if you use the code which is under the GAR file, you will not be able to change it. But what you can do the package. What in Java we have package encapsulation, and for example, I think here, in this GTM you can basically copy the same code from. Maybe let me do it myself. Okay, let me delete it, for example, and if we go here, we cannot actually go here, but that's not the problem. If you use here, you can see there's the package. If you navigate to these packages, you need to go to the class which extends the unit test, the class of unit test decoration. You will be here, and if you go down to GTM test set, you can find the GTM test class here. GTM test class here, and you can basically what you can do, you can create your own class. I think you can do it this way with the same name, and here you can I think that was just first of all you need to remove I think you don't need these comments as well. And what's the problem here? Let's check. Public GTM, that's correct. To public class. here's the public class, and okay, I think this comment, no, I think it's needed, but okay, that's a bit strange here. Protected static, yes. Okay, well, we don't need a constructor here. And we don't basically need this this timeout at all as well, so we can just can comment it out. GTM test, and what's the oh, I think there's some problems with maybe let's just but I think we moment just a bit okay, let's check this code again. Timeout. Can I use different decompiler here? Okay. Class. Okay. Oh yeah, it does not extend server. No, it extends nothing, but not really sure why it is here. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, and but yeah, basically we can keep this line. Okay, yeah, now it's fine. Now it's fine, and now you have different class without any timeouts. And if you want to debug the code right here, or yeah, or not here, but for example here, JSON cars, yeah, I already implemented the logic for JSON. So let's, for example, go to string tokenizer as an example and put the breakpoint here. Put the breakpoint here and run the unit test. I hope it should. No, yeah, now we are in debugger, and there should be no. Yeah, and you can see there are no timeouts here. You can easily go through the unit test and debug all the changes you've done. The same way you can go with the JSON file, and yeah, but basically what's the JSON file for your task? Let me show you the string. Yeah, maybe I'll share the JSON file in Discord. This is basically the way how it should look like, and yes, that's how it should look like. So basically, I don't like this parser. One moment. just let me check one thing. Okay, let's yeah. And yeah, basically this is the JSON file what is used in your home task. So yes, the idea is again in the method getCars, you need to just get the corresponding value of the car. As you can see, for example, here there are 2 cars. In general, there can be n cars, and for the class car, which you need to create, I hope that's quite clear how the class car needs to be created. There are just 4 parameters, 4 standard parameters there for the car, and just once you get the JSON file, you'll have this JSON file which starts with the object. Then you just first of all, you can see that this is the JSON file. It has the object. It has the object with the attribute cars. Then you need to get the array from this attribute. So as you can see, here's the array, and array has 2 elements, 2 cars, and you'll need to go through all the cars defined in this array, right? Then you go through, for every car you create a new object, right? New class, with the reference to the class car. And then you need to get all the values from here. First you get color, you get year, you get price, you get model. Once you retrieve all the values from here, then you pass these values to the attributes of the class of the object car, and then you need to pass the car to the list of cars. And that's practically it. And the list of cars is the returning parameter of the method getCars. And for the method getJSON, you have write the opposite way. Yeah, it goes to the opposite way. You have the list of cars. Then you need to create a JSON file. First of all, you need to create, maybe let's go from bottom. Let's go it from bottom to top. You need to create. So you have the object here, the object car. Then based on the element of the list, which is the car, which is the object in Java car, from class car, you get all the elements from there. In the price, the color, the model, and the year. And then you pass these attributes, the values of these attributes to the attributes in JSON. So you fill the object based on the values of the of the object car in Java, and you put then, yeah, you process one object, you finish processing it, then you go to another object, to another one, and once you process all the cars provided in the list, then you put these you put them into the array, like one by one. You finish with the first one, you put them into array, you go to the next one, you put them to JSON array. So as you remember, you need to use these two JSON classes, JSON object and JSON array. Again, the JSON object stands for the object defined in these brackets, and then there's JSON array, which is defined in this way in square brackets. And then you just need to put the elements to the array. The elements are the objects. Here you can see this, the object. Then you put all these elements to the array, finish processing them. Then as you can see, this is the attribute cars, which is the array. So you have the attribute cars, and then you have a new object. So you need to have a new base. This is just the base object, JSON object, and you put the attribute cars to the object, which is basically the array. And then you just need to return it as the string, and just to do it you need to just use cars object to string. And so as for all the classes, you need to use method to string to return JSON string. And that's practically it what you need to do for the homework, for JSON. Right? Yeah. Are there any more questions about this? Or is it clear, or is it totally unclear for you? Okay, maybe I can share this file again, because I think that the file I shared before is not really correct. Yeah, this one should be correct one. Okay, I'm open for your questions. For more questions. I can see someone is typing on Discord.
I have a small question about regular expressions. It's about our home task, 6 activity. It seems that I don't understand the syntax, how to write this regular expression, because I wrote it in different ways and have no result.
Excuse me, which expressions?
Regular expressions.
Regular expressions. Which really one? I mean, what kind of expressions? Regular expressions?
In our home task.
Home task, which one?
It's 6 extra 6.
Extra 6.
Extra 6, yes, and I hope maybe we can tomorrow have some simple examples of this. How to write this.
Okay, let me open it. I hope this one. Have a look at it. So here it is. Which one? What's okay? Maybe I haven't checked this exercise before. So okay, well, maybe let's do it together.
Exactly. Find Kelly. It looks simple, but
I don't understand how to write it.
Which one exactly?
The next 35 line.
Yeah, 35. Okay, 35th. Find Kenny. Okay, this method finds Kenny or Kelly hiding in this
Yeah.
list. Number of N, S, or LS starting with 2. Okay.
So, and the telephone number is the same. Just misunderstood the syntax.
It's correct often. You need to get the substring, as I understand. As I understand, you need to get the substring. Okay, maybe let me. Yeah, 1 moment. Yeah, I think you need to get. You need to get the. Okay, 1 moment. Okay, let me check. I have some detailed explanations. Moment, so let me check. So I check the unit test too. For the for the telephone number, you need to use you need to use the moment. What you can do, you can add some you can define the. Okay, maybe let's go back to simple Eclipse View, because back to the Eclipse View. So for the telephone number, it says that you need to have the start was okay, and plus 371. So what you can do, you can provide the type of valid number. You can have it. Let me just. So it will be to use these brackets. So this is the first part. For example, here you provide the code. So the beginning part. Okay, maybe let me maybe write it in different documents, so to not interfere this one. Okay, maybe let's create a new test check. So you have the string, and then let's even have the, or not, yeah, let's have the public static void main. So for the telephone number, or just maybe for the, let's maybe have for the number. Then you maybe let's have kind of string. No, for example, let's have the string text. Let's have the example, the text, simple text, for example, right? Text. Then what we can do, we can call the method from text and check matches. And I think we can write it this way. Hope that that's correct. System and print ln. Okay, not. Yeah, I hope I think I. Let me check what was the syntax for the regex. These for this comments.
I think capital letters and usual letters, it's different.
Yeah, one moment.
Mm.
Yeah, there's some letters, for example. Okay, there's set. Not really sure if this one is correct as well. Yeah, basically the idea is that it does the. Yeah, okay, it's still. But for the. Okay, maybe let's keep in touch with number format. Number format. Just if you have 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, okay, I'm not really sure about the syntax here. Yeah, so for you just need to have it like this. Okay, then okay, I'm not really sure about the correct syntax here right now, but okay, let's basically for the phone numbers. Okay, this one is. Okay, but yeah, for the phone number. Some regular expression. Okay, let me basically check the syntax. I haven't checked it. Test. Just a moment. This, I think. Think. Second. Okay, but okay, maybe we don't need the brackets here. It's fine if we a set minus 9 and it's false again, but okay, okay, it should be also the case. A to Z, that's correct, and to A, then to Z, then what's house? Not sure if the plus should be here. Ah, sorry. It, oh yeah, finally. So yeah, maybe I will try to explain a bit more, but yeah, it has such it's a bit crazy syntax to check if the if the input is correct or not. So basically, it uses these brackets, and here you can also, for example, I'm not sure if I remove the numbers, it will work fine as well. Yeah, as you can see here, it's false, and text something. Yeah, now it's true. So yeah, basically that's the way how you can check if the output is was for example here, if you want to have the string with the letters only, you can check it this way, and the plus means that I think that should be multiple. I'm not really sure, but you need the plus at the end to, yeah, you need the plus at the end. Basically, you have multiple, yeah, and maybe without plus one character. Yeah, and from one character you can see that you can check it without the plus character, without the plus here, but yeah, if you have multiple, if you have multiple characters, you can use plus to check. So that's just the simple way how you can check the input this way. For some more advanced input again, let's for example check if we want to have something like, if we want to have 1, 2, 3 for example, plus something 3 and something more text, then you can use here 1, 2, 3, and I think that should work fine. Yeah, you can see that it matches the output. It matches the output this way. So if we have something different, 1, 5, 3 for example, that should not work. Yeah, you can see the result is false. And for the phone number, yeah, I think the start should be the same way, right? If you use, in our case, plus 371. But yeah, for the number that can be a little bit complicated, and it is most likely that you will need to use these brackets. But yeah, these brackets, and also use this 1 point, yeah, and also number of, and yeah, here you can provide the number of characters, like in this case, if we have 1, 2, 3, and what's 3, and here you need to, for example, have 5 characters, then A, B, C, D, E, F, for example. Yeah, too much characters here. Let's check. Yeah, it's false because I think you need in total. Maybe this one is. And yeah, you need. So here you can provide number of characters, and for the phone number. So if you want to use just numbers, yeah, you provide it this way, and here provide the number of characters to be written. And if you have multiple choices here, like here, you can use 1, 2 or 2, 1, for example. I think that should work. Let me check 1, 2. Let me have something like that. That's false. That's false because I think, yeah, because this one. So you need to have such brackets here, I think. Yes, something else. 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2 is here. That space needed. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Okay, maybe I will try to explain a little bit more because I need to check all the syntax for regular expressions. I will explain it more a bit tomorrow because yeah, I don't really remember the whole syntax for regular expressions now. So yeah, I'll explain it tomorrow because yeah, again I need to check some syntax elements here for the regular expressions. Okay, okay, any other questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
The example that you showed on the last lesson,
About
it doesn't work. I will send a print screen now.
yeah, sure. So that's okay. Problem the method iterator is undefined for the type JSON. Yeah, okay. Gross items. Iterator is defined as the object. And where's my example here? I think there was something.
I copied from the Bitbucket.
Yeah, okay. So, I
And
think it was here, right?
this iterator is right.
Okay, iterator. Yeah, but okay, but for those items is JSON array, and okay, yeah, I can see, but think is maybe you can check if you have the right import for. But okay, I think you should have the right import here. Okay, no problem. Check the JSON array. I think it should be from here. Yeah. So the method it's undefined for JSON array. Yeah, that's.
I have this import.
Okay, let me check. Port. Yeah, JSON. You have JSON here. So, but okay. One moment. JSON array. Or maybe yeah, you can. What if you have simple one? Okay, if you have this one, okay, maybe you can check which one do you use here, because there are two. Can you check if you use this one, the first one?
One second. Can you show me one more time?
It's just, yeah, this one, the first one, from
Yes,
org.js.
I think so.
Then maybe, yeah, maybe you can tap it once again, please. And save the file now. Yeah. And can you select it once again and save the document?
What?
I mean, just remove something here, select it again, and save the document. Is it still showing the same?
Actually, when I'm printing, it doesn't show me to choose.
So if you press Ctrl space, it doesn't show you this class, right?
Okay, I've chosen.
Can you share the screen, if possible?
Yes.
Okay, then I will stop presenting. Okay, so can you go to that one again? Where's JSON up? Yeah, this one. Maybe can you? Is it really the same? Okay. And then remove, remove these last characters here, Scenery. Then save document again. Get JSON array. Okay, that's a bit strange. So maybe can you go to the next one? And down, yeah, and to the right. Can you show what? Maybe you can remove this iterator. I mean, and from and press Ctrl space here. Okay, maybe go down a bit, because okay, there's no iterator, right? To get. I mean, can you start typing it?
I don't.
Okay, I don't have it. Maybe that's the reason is that the version is different. Can you please show where your JSON is located? Where's the GR? Yeah, that's or JSON, and where's the path to it in your M2 repository? Maybe can you go to the can you maybe go to your project? Yeah, here in Eclipse. in Ecops, right? No,
Oh, I mean,
I'm in Ecops, yeah. Go to properties. I mean, right click on the project. Yeah, yeah, properties. Then Java build path on OFTM. Then yeah, libraries. Oh, you have two JSON. Maybe can you remove the first one? Yeah, shows that it's okay. And then you have okay, maybe you apply the changes here. Okay. Okay, scroll down and okay, it still
with the
shows.
first one, it was the same. I just decided to download it one more time, and it doesn't help.
Okay, okay, maybe then you can you open the then open this GR in M2 repository. I just want to see what's if the version is correct here.
Like, what do you mean in repository? In the folder?
Yeah, in no in M2 repository. Where's this? Where's this GAR library taken from? Can you maybe can you go to the Java build path again? Yeah, here. Then you have yeah. Then it's yeah, you can see it's in C users admin ecops. Can you go to this folder? C users admin
Yeah.
ecops. Yeah.
Yes, it's here.
So it's here and okay, you have Java. But it's a bit strange because. But is it in your M2 repository as well or not? Can you go to your M2 repository? I think it should be under your users. Yeah, users, then your username.
No, everything is here.
Okay. Is there M2 repository? M2 folder. Should be .m2, no?
I think here is everything.
Okay, yeah. No, can you go up a bit? No, I mean in Java build path, if you go there, here you can see, down here you can see there's M2 repository. And where's this place? Yeah, this one.
Ah,
Yeah. Can you go there, please? Because I think
yes.
that normally if you load the file from the from using the Maven, it should be there in org folder.
I should to copy it here.
Now can you please? Is there org folder? Go down a bit. Okay.
Yeah.
And there should be JSON, I think. Is it here? JSON?
No.
Okay, then maybe, yeah, there should be, I think there should be JSON here. So can you again launch Maven? Run Maven Eclipse in your project repository. Please go to your project folder again. So where's your project? Yeah.
So what to do?
Yes, can you run git? You can right click here. Git GUI, but where's your POM file?
Here.
Ah, okay, it's here. Okay, then yeah, please right click and not git GUI but git bash, I think, because that's easier to write it from console. Okay, then write mvn v, not c but v. Variable, yeah, mvn space eclipse two dots. I mean, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, eclipse, yeah, eclipse. Yeah, and press enter. Press enter. And have you entered the JSON dependency in POM file?
I think no.
Okay, yeah, then I think that's the problem. You need to add the JSON dependency to the project, to your POM file. So please add this one to your XML POM file. Under dependencies, under line 21.
Under
Line
where?
under line 21. So here if you see the section dependencies, yeah, here you can add save and run this maven command again. Okay, then can you check M2 repository again, please?
Yes, it is.
Okay, now it is here, and can you then add this GAR file again? GAR file to job build path. Yeah. Remove the previous one. I think it's not here, but okay, then let's add the. I think it's not here. Okay, then add external. Yeah, this one. And no, not from here, but from M2 repository. Yeah. And deploy changes. Okay, then save.
Okay.
Okay, and you see that. Yeah, I think the problem was with the version, because it's kind of different version.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. I think we will not be able to handle more questions today, so I think we can continue tomorrow. Okay. Thank you for your attendance today, and let's meet tomorrow.
Thank you, bye.
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 Thank you. Bye.